Sheriff Spencer.
Hey Nate, how are you?
Hey, sir.
In the last 2-minute report from Game 1, it showed that Giannis exceeded the time limit for some free throws in the final 2 minutes. Is that something you guys want them to kind of keep a closer eye on?
Absolutely. It's a rule that we want them to call. So the NBA announced that that should have been called, and we hope that if that happens again, that it is called.
Chris Kirschner.
Hey, Nate. I wanted to ask you about John's role this year. So the last couple of years, he's been 20, 25 points per game, and this year he's more in a different role. How have you thought of his adjustment to what you guys want him to do this year?
Well, he's been pretty much a pick and roll guy. I think that's what he was. He was used mostly last season. We are using him in a few other ways, posting up, spreading the floor with the combination of both he and Clint. They both are really good role guys. I think, his last couple of years, he's been the primary role guy, the pick and roll guy. They've been spreading, they were spreading their 5 men this year with Clint, being a really good pick and roll guy. We've been able to really take advantage of John's ability to shoot 3 by spreading him. And still using him in the pick and roll. So pretty much just trying to take advantage of his skill, his ability to post up, his ability to shoot the 3 ball, as well as playing him at some 5 to allow both he and Trey to continue with that connection they have.
All right. Eric. All right. Joe.
Nate, just to mess around a little bit with free throws thing. Bud's point when we were pressing him on it was if you put a stopwatch on every, time someone's in the paint longer than they're supposed to be, it doesn't get called every time. And if you he gave another example. But the point is like some of these timing things, the calls just don't happen every time. What do you make of that, or what's your reaction to that? As far as there are a number of instances in other parts of the game where it's a timing situation and it doesn't get called.
Call it. I mean, he's right, though. There are guys that are camping in the lane for 3 seconds, and, sometimes that's not called. Just as he mentioned, on both ends of the floor, the offensive end of the floor, as well as the defensive end of the floor. And, what we have to do is try to bring that to the attention of the league, to the officials during the game. And hopefully they make those calls. It's the same thing with, the 10 seconds at the free throw line. So it's not called every time. And, the officials, sometimes they miss that. But we want them to be consistent with making those calls.
You're having the conversation with us, and there was a story today. Do you know if the Hawks had that conversation with the league? Do you expect it to be called tonight?
I won't talk about what we have conversations we've had with the league, but this is something that I think, has been brought to the attention of the league, in the last couple of rounds.
Ben?
Coach, 2 questions for you. First, you had Monty Williams on your staff in Portland. Do you have any favorite memories from that time with him that sort of, his success in Phoenix that he's had kind of led to that? And then second, we heard from a lot of players last year seeking greater representation among coaches and executives. And do you see any significance that 3 of the 4 remaining coaches are former Black players?
Monty was a great assistant for me. I enjoyed working with him. He was a guy that I needed at that time with a young group. I needed that energy, from my staff, and he was a guy that we were developing at that time. So he was really the right fit for me working with him. And a lot of fun memories with Monty. We had a lot of success in Portland, and, what he is doing now is really no surprise. He's a prepared coach that's been with in a lot of systems. And, he's a student of the game, so what he's doing with his team, really continuing from this summer, is really not a surprise. as far as the black coaches, being in the finals, there's a lot of good coaches out here. I think I certainly believe that if given the opportunity and a roster that they can work with, they will show that they can have success. A lot of times you're getting rosters, whether you're starting over or a development roster that's going to take some time to build. You don't see many opportunities where we're getting these jobs where that roster is already in place, and you have to go out and with the expectations of winning. Normally you're kind of building that roster, and sometimes when that roster gets in place, you're removed, and someone else is filling in. So it's good to see guys get that opportunity, and it's a lot of good black coaches out here.